Hello and welcome to the third installment of Tell Me Rune podcast, or Tell Me Are You Not Entertained? I am your co-host Andrew.
And I'm your other co-host Leilani.
And this week we are talking about movies. It's all movies. We're talking about movies that just don't know when to quit. Starting with one that's coming out with its 8th installment this Friday, April 14th, Fast and Furious with F8. The Fate of the Furious.
This is a horrible title.
I think it's a great title that they can come up with. I mean, F8, Fate, that's some genius work right there. I think that's probably the best thing they've ever come up with.
It reminds me just a key on the keyboard.
Yeah, F8.
Yeah.
Fate. It's like L8R for later.
God.
I remember when I used to do that all the time. That was my thing.
Really?
L8R. No, it's Fate, F8. I don't know what they'll do for F9, because there will be a 9th one. I know that much.
How much longer are they going to keep going with the movies?
About a couple of months ago or a year ago, Tyrese Gibson on his Facebook put up a picture that said 10 movies, 2 decades, 1 franchise. So that means that we're going to have 10 movies, and I think the 10th one's going to come out on 2021, because they started in 2001 with the first Fast and the Furious, which is the full correct title.
That just seems too long. Like, are they actually going to stop, or are they just going to keep going?
I think I think they might stop at 10. I think this one is they're like working with it kind of, because this is the first one without Paul Walker at all.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first one without him.
This
so
is sad.
It's very sad. Especially after that tribute at the end. But I mean, I think this is the one where they're really testing the waters. Like, can this stay stable for another 3 movies at least that they want to do?
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and do it, but I mean, you have to think of, okay, what's the concept going to be, each one?
They have the same concept. Just drive fast, explosions, steal computer chips.
That's it.
Save the world. Oh, and all their charges get dropped every single time. Like, they steal everything, yet all their stuff gets dropped. That's their main point. So they can go steal more for the next movie. But there was an article that came out in one interview to the guy who directs it. Gosh, I did so much research, and I don't know who directs these movies.
Do you want to find out?
Or the writer. It's the writer. Oh, just look up that. But somebody asked the writer about an interesting topic of taking the Fast and Furious franchise to outer space, possibly.
Writers? Is it one of the original writers?
No, it's the guy. They've had the same writer from 3 to 7.
3 to 7? Okay.
3, yeah. He's written. You can just go to F8 Rotten Tomatoes and see his name, but in the
Chris Morgan? Yeah,
Chris Morgan, that's him. Chris Morgan wrote from Tokyo Drift to Furious 7, which now is Fast and Furious 8. He was asked about going to space, and instead of denying it or totally accepting it, he said the idea has to be, quote unquote, so good to be greenlit. And then they talked about how Vin Diesel is also the Chronicles of Riddick, and how Riddick and Dom could be like brothers, and there could be a crossover.
No, you don't cross those streams. You don't do that. That's horrible.
I mean, they brought back Riddick like a couple of years ago.
Which is fine, but...
Which I feel like they should have not done. I thought those movies were going downhill.
Are they going to cross streams also with, like, Triple X? I mean, they're going to do...
I think what they really want to do is cross streams with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, God.
I think that's what they want to do. Oh, my God.
That would be horrible. No.
What? You don't want to see Thanos be talked about in a drifting car race with a guy from Alabama who moves to Tokyo.
How do you drift in space, though?
Tokyo drift?
How do you do that?
I don't know. They'll find a way, though. It's like it'll be like a button. You press the button, you get gravity, and now you can drift.
I just think that's so bad. There's just, again, with the concept, it has to be right if you're doing the last 3 like that.
So what you're saying is, are you saying it's feasible?
What, in space?
Yeah.
No, there's absolutely no way you can do that in space.
See, I think it's possible.
How?
I think it's possible. I think what they'll do is they'll do the Friday the 13th aspect. Because if you look at Friday the 13th, the 10th one is Jason Goes to Space.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah. Terrible. They shouldn't even got to 10. But I think that's where Fast and Furious is going. I mean, in this one, they have submarines. They're going underwater. Like,
that's still on Earth. That's still something plausible within...
Yeah, but they're going everywhere nowadays. They've gone everywhere.
So the last place is space?
Yeah. Let's get in a rover, guys. No. Men in Black and Fast and Furious crossover. There we go.
Another one that they should just stop at. Men in Black.
And I saw your face from outer space. No. I love that little pug, Frank. But I think it's possible. I think bring it on. I'm going to go see Fast and Furious 8 in theaters. After a while of not seeing any of them in theaters. I think I saw the first one in theaters, as did everybody, because it was a Point Break remake, and then it just died off for me. I saw the Furious 7. Like, I sat down and was like, yeah, I'll watch Furious 7 because of the whole Paul Walker thing. Mm-hmm. But after that, I was just like, whatever. I don't really care.
I think the only one that I actually saw, halfway through, was Tokyo Drift. That's about it.
Yeah, that one's the worst.
I only saw it because I like Lucas Black. So, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
I saw it. But then I was like, this looks really weird, this country boy in Tokyo.
Yeah, I couldn't get my head around that one.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't get my head around it. I'm like, he's doing alright for the script he's given, but I just gotta...
Yeah, I was like, nah. And then Bow Wow was in it. I was like, nah. You lost me at that.
Okay, well, whatever. Talking about Fast and Furious 8, there was a little bit of a scuffle on set with 2 of its big stars now, between The Rock and Vin Diesel. It all started way back, like, I think last year or something like that, with an Instagram post or a Facebook post, or really he posted it everywhere, The Rock taking a picture with the cast the day after Vin Diesel shot all of his scenes. And he said, now that the boys have all left, now the real men can come to work and do their work. And then there was an article that came out just recently. Vin Diesel talked about the potential feud and said that everybody blew it out of proportion.
I can believe that.
So, do you think it was all just hype for the movie, or do you think there was even a feud at all, or...
There's so many things that people do as far as hype around movies that it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And, I mean, it's, again, like I told you when we talked before, it's The Rock. He's always about the hype. So...
That is true.
Why not? Especially the franchise, when you're in how many movies in, you want to get more media around it.
Yeah. He came in the 5th one, I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean...
So...
That's...
They also got Gal Gadot to be in it, and then she pieced out for Wonder Woman. So... They were trying to grab 2 good stars, and then Warner Brothers was just like, hey, you want some of this dough? And then she was just like, yeah. I'll do Keeping Up with the Joneses in the meantime, but yeah, I'll do Wonder Woman too. See, I think this was all to drum up hype for the movie.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, when I first heard about it, I was like, it's just 2 alpha males going at it. Mm-hmm. And then I found out what the plot was for Fast and Furious 8, and I was like, okay. Yeah, okay, so Dom Toretto, whatever his name is, Dom, Vin Diesel, is now being blackmailed or threatened, and he has to double-cross his team, who has The Rock on it, and they're like in a feud now on the screen. So now, now they have a feud in real life. Really, if the plot was something else, maybe I would kind of agree with it. But come on,
yeah, no,
the plot is too similar to this, and I think they're worried because Paul Walker's not in it.
Even though Paul Walker's not in, I still think that they have a solid group that people are still going to want to see what happens to them as they go. So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got so many people in it.
Exactly.
You got Vin Diesel, who's on a downward slope. Thanks to Groot, he's on a little uphill swing. Even though he only says like one sentence like 80,000 different ways.
Probably makes like 10 mil off of that or more.
At least. And then you got Tyrese Gibson, who doesn't do anything but these Fast and Furious movies. He came out with a CD with a group of guys, which I still listen to. How You Gonna Act Like That? I mean, if Tyrese Gibson could just, like, if he could get in his car and then turn on the radio, and then it's him singing How You Gonna Act Like That, and then he just turns it up a little bit, I think F8 would just be the best movie in the world for me, because I love that music video. Then you got Ludacris.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that was too loud, but you can't just say Ludacris. You have to say it. But anyways, and then you got Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't do much but these Fast and Furious movies, and then she goes out and with like different people on a yacht and kisses them. That's all TMZ did for a while.
Yeah, one of them was Zac Efron. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
Zac Efron was one of them, and then like the next week she was with a woman.
Yeah.
Who I didn't recognize, and I was just like, okay, cool. Swing both ways, whatever. Just be in that Fast and Furious movie. But this one has 2 Oscar winners joining the cast. You got Helen Mirren, who I like.
Oh, I love her.
I'm fine with that. I mean, add to it, baby. Kurt Russell was already in there, but Kurt Russell's in it too.
He is?
Yeah, Kurt Russell. He was in, I think, the 6th. He came in the 6th one, and he was definitely in the 7th one.
Okay.
He's like a big head honcho kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the other Oscar winner is Charlize Theron, and she's the one that basically steals Dom and tells him to join up and double cross the crew and start stealing for her and all this other stuff.
I think the only thing that annoys me is her hair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, is that like micro braids in your hair? What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I'm just super glad that she can find work
I
with her
knew
being
you
so
were going
pretty.
to bring this up. Oh my god. Go ahead.
I mean, she's had it tough. She can't get so many people. It's like she can't get so many jobs because she's just too pretty. I mean,
Andrews has this harboring hate for her because of her statement of that.
It's not hate. It's just dislike of how pompous her words came out, saying that she's too pretty. That's why she doesn't get as many roles.
I mean, come on, she is pretty. So I mean, she used to be a model.
Yeah, it's whatever. But I have a really serious question I want to bring up to you that
Serious?
I think could possibly be good discussion.
Okay.
So The Rock and Vin, let's say that was actually a real feud.
Okay.
Do you think The Rock has enough pull to kick Vin Diesel off the rest of the Fast and Furious franchise movies that are yet to come? So this one's the 8th one. If they are going to only 10, do you think there's any way that The Rock and Vin Diesel couldn't work together? Do you think that he would be able to be like, I don't want to work with this guy? Like, who would have to leave? Who do you think they would side with? If I can't make this any more clear, keeping on adding words.
I'm just going to explain it 50,000 different times to you in different ways so you can understand. See, that's a hard question.
Vin Diesel's been here through 8 movies.
This is his baby. This is, everybody knows him as this, or Triple X, or Riddick. Those are his 3 main things.
Right.
So you take that main character out, just like with Paul Walker, it's kind of, there's an empty space there. So you take the second main dude that's out of it, it's really, I don't think he can carry.
I don't
Even
know.
with The Rock.
I don't know, though, because if you switch out The Rock and Vin Diesel now, I think The Rock could keep it up. I think he could hoist it all on his back and power squat it to success. I think he has enough pull. I mean, if you look at the graph of career change for these two, Vin Diesel was really high up in the early 2000s, and his kind of like little bar graph has been like kind of slowly moving down.
Yeah.
With a little upswing for Guardians of the Galaxy.
A little.
And then you have The Rock pretty much at the low end in the early 2000s. He had like The Rundown with Sean William Scott.
Really funny.
I love The Rundown, but it didn't get like really hyped up. But now his little bar is like going super high up as we go through the years.
Yeah, because you have him in Moana and...
I mean, everything. Pain and Gain, I think, really helped launch it.
I haven't seen that one yet.
He is really fantastic in it. Like, you're just like, dang. I mean, HBO scooped him up when they could to put him on Ballers, which is a good show. But he's in everything. Baywatch is coming out.
Oh, I can't wait.
Jungle Book. I mean, not Jungle Book. Jumanji is coming out.
We don't mention that.
I mean, he's gonna be in everything. Him and Kevin Hart are just gonna be in everything.
Together.
Forever. And I think right now, if you are a movie franchise, the biggest name you can get is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Which,
I mean, it's fine. He's in everything. I mean, you know, do what you can, when you can. Especially since he's an older actor. But I'm like, no, I don't think he would be able to go ahead and finish off the films. Like, Vin Diesel would have to come back in the 10th one. He could maybe do one without Vin Diesel, but then that 10th one, he has to come back.
I don't know. They'll do a scene in one of them at the end where they're both talking from car windows.
Oh my god.
2 different cars.
No.
And The Rock is just yelling at him, "Hey, screw you!"
Just start cursing at each other back and
forth.
forth.
Yeah. As they're driving down the highway, and then they just split paths. And then it just says R.I.P. Vin Diesel. Have fun in Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Vin Diesel's just like laughing his way to the bank as he's just like, "I'm Groot, I'm Groot, I'm Groot." Like, I don't have to do stunts anymore. I can just go in a booth and say, "I'm Groot, I'm Groot, I'm Groot, I'm Groot." Like, I'm telling you, he's just making bank. If you're just talking about words, money per word, he says. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he is making it. He is making it. But Fast and Furious 8, what do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm not a big Fast and Furious fan, so I can't really say yay or nay.
I'm not a huge Fast and Furious fan either, but I'm going Easter Sunday. You can catch me.
Wow.
Easter Sunday at the movies with my uncle, going to see Fast and Furious 8, F8. Not really into the Fast and Furious franchise, but I'm making multiple YouTube videos for it, and I'm trying to... I feel like I need to go see it.
I was about to say, you made, was it 2?
Yeah, I made a reenactment of the first 1 through 7 movies, in under 6 minutes, and then we did an intro to our main video. So, I feel like I have to give them a little love and money.
Yeah.
And let me just say my expectations are low. I'm thinking just forego plot, make it really simple, and just give me, like, if they can throw in some car chases, some explosions, you know what? I'll be happy. Because that's all I expect from them.
Yeah.
That's all I expect. Just give me that. Don't give these big lulls of just, like, exposition. Because I'm not here for that. I'm not here to hear the heartstrings of family and all this other stuff. Just throw the hooks through Dom's car and try to pull him. I don't know what they're trying to do with that one. They try to pull him and then he just takes them all crazy.
Is that on the ice?
No, that's not the ice one yet.
Okay.
But yeah, there's another ice one. There's a part where a missile's on the ice and Tyrese Gibson freaks out. He's
always.
But I think it could be good. I think it'll make money.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think especially if people knowing that supposedly it's winding down, that
Yeah.
they're gonna see it.
I hope it's winding down. Speaking of winding down and how none of these movies are doing it, another movie that's not winding down is Toy Story, with news about Don Rickles passing. Sad. Very sad. Yeah. Very rich comic and character. Made insult comedy just what it was. And really nobody does it better. And nobody really does it anymore. I've seen roasts on Comedy Central, and they're just like, they're not even comedy anymore. Like, it's just insults, and then people are like, oh yeah, I do feel like Justin Bieber is a douche. So it's like, alright, well, I guess that's funny. Everybody thinks everything the same way, and everybody just laughs. Whereas Don Rickles actually came up with concepts and ideas, like, on the fly. But sadly, he passed, and that means it's sad for Toy Story 4 because he was the voice of Mr. Potato Head, and it came out that they didn't record any dialogue with him yet.
Which, I mean, it's really going to be hard to replace his voice because he has a unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course Mr. Potato Head would have to be in it. I mean, they would have to do something with the storyline then of Mr. Potato Head missing or something.
No. I think he's going to be in it.
Well, no, I'm sure he will because, I mean, that's what they did with Jim Varney when he's AKA Slinky Dog. And he had very, very few lines, though. But you can definitely tell it's somebody different voicing Slinky Dog. And it's sad.
Yeah. Especially with the role Mr. Potato Head and Don Rickles had.
Yeah.
And I think the third one, I mean, he had some really good lines.
Oh, yeah.
I think the second one, he had some really good lines. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, he's a comedy legend.
Yeah.
And it's very sad to see these people that, I mean, my mom showed me Don Rickles a couple of times on The Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily we have YouTube, so you can go back and see some of his good stand-up. I mean, I was pretty upset when Gene Wilder, I mean, it's just really upsetting to see that time passing, and then, like, these people that I grew up watching these movies, and then it's just, like, it's just so sad to see them passing away. And it's like, you look back, now you look at who's quote-unquote comedy now, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what are we going towards? It's like, I mean, who's the Don, like, I can't even picture a Don Rickles or Gene Wilder or of this generation. Like, I can't sit there and be like, oh yeah, Seth Rogen is Don Rickles. Like, no, that's definitely not even close.
Yeah, because most of their stuff is like slapstick, like comedy, and then they're
drug infused.
Yeah, I mean, you can't compare the old comedians with the new generations of comedians because it's mostly
just can't.
Yeah,
you can't even come close to it. But yeah, so they switched the release dates for Toy Story 4, so they get a little bit more time now.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's projected to come out June 21st of 2019.
God.
So it gives them a little bit more chance to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know what it could be, but I mean, I don't know, you gotta know what you're doing. Like, it takes so long to make Toy Story, like those kind of animated films, like, but it doesn't take that long to write a script, I feel. So you record all the voices for Toy Story 3,
mm-hmm.
and then while the animators are animating everything, you should be writing Toy Story 4 and having those people ready to get put on this film. And you record the people that you can get now. Like, maybe Tom Hanks is doing a movie,
mm-hmm.
and he can't get in the thing for the booth for like another 6 months to a year, but get the people that you can get now. Like, Cliff from Cheers.
Oh my God.
Get that guy in right now.
That would be so sad to have him pass, because he's in every single Pixar movie.
Oh, yeah.
So for him not to be in one would be weird.
We're going to have a huge memoriam
God.
with him once he goes, but hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon.
No.
He's a great guy. But yeah, that's all my thing is. It's just like, you should be having this scripted and having this. I'm not saying.
You telling them how to do their job?
I'm not trying to tell them, but I am trying to tell them, and I feel like I have a better idea right now. But I don't want to say, oh, they should have been thinking about Don Rickles could have been passing away. And so they should have got him in the booth first. This came out of left field. He seemed very spry in his old age. Again, very sad that he's passing. They passed.
He's passing.
They passed, but, and I don't want to say, oh, not Toy Story. Like, oh, what an inconvenience that he passed, and now we're not going to get Mr. Potato Head or whatever. That's not the big major deal, but I'm just saying.
Which, if anybody from DreamWorks is listening, which I really doubt, if you like to show us how the process is and want to invite us there in California, I will be all for it. So, just saying.
Yeah, please, DreamWorks, stumble upon this podcast. Hopefully.
Wait, why did I say DreamWorks? Pixar. Jesus Christ, please edit that.
Hopefully not at SoundCloud, because we can't put this one up there, or we would have to pay for it.
Wait, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I said DreamWorks. I had DreamWorks.
Don't worry about it. You know who else is making a mistake? The production started on Mission Impossible 6.
Nice segue.
I took the ball and I ran with it. There was a photo shared on Instagram of, what are those boards called for action? You know, where they do action and it's like white and black and they click it. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's a movie board.
Isn't it a, oh my god, what is that?
I don't know. Maybe you should look it up and I'll keep talking.
Such a bad day.
Anyways, there was a photo shared on social media of one of those boards, and it has MI on the bottom, and it said, take one, scene one. And so that basically signified, hey, we're doing this again. We're starting to film in Paris. You and I have both strong opinions on the Mission Impossible franchise, as we were talking earlier. Like I said, I saw Mission Impossible 3 in theaters when it came out. I thought it was good. Then I saw Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol in theaters because I heard rumors that that was the last one that they were going to make. And then all of a sudden, I saw Tom Cruise on the side of an airplane holding on to dear life, doing his own stunts. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're making another one. And in fact, they did. And I did not see that one out of principle, because I do not want to see a 50-year-old man just galloping. He's still in good shape, but I watched Jack Reacher 2, and he had his shirt off, and I was just like, I don't know. I love his earlier films. I'm not trying to body shame you, Tom Cruise. And I'm not saying you're too old to do like an action movie. I watched The Expendables, and all those guys are well into their age. Not saying that's a bad thing, but he was such a good actor in his early career, doing Risky Business. Cocktail was one of my favorite movies. A Few Good Men whenever that movie's on, I have to watch at least some part of it. And I just sit there going, like, why aren't you transitioning into a really good dramatic actor? And using it, I don't know, why aren't you doing like a Leo DiCaprio kind of thing?
Oh, please don't compare them.
Well, I'm just saying, get into a good character film mold, and then just run and show your acting abilities instead of just, I don't know, he's kind of leaning on the action thing.
I think he's just going for what he knows and what can sell now versus artistic format, which is what Leonardo DiCaprio, if you want to bring him back up, does. I think he's very choosy with his films. Tom now is just like, okay, so this is the 18th one. All right, how much am I going to get paid? Okay, cool, let's do this.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that's what Robert De Niro is doing. He's just trying to drum up a whole bunch of cash doing Bad Grandpa and all these like low, like just comedy, like low hanging fruit kind of movies with no like bigger name actors nowadays, so he can bank, and then as soon as he wants to, he can be like, all right, I'm gonna just retire now. I have enough money in the bank.
Hero, though. I mean, he can do no wrong.
Well, a lot of people are saying that he's ruining his legacy.
Well, I mean, just with that, what was it called? Not Bad Grandpa. What the hell was that called? With Zac Efron.
Oh, Dirty Grandpa.
Dirty Grandpa.
I think I said Bad Grandpa. My bad.
No, I think... Okay, anyways, I'm gonna blame you. Alright, so you said it.
Yeah, I did.
So, just things like that, you kind of look and it's like, why is he in this? And I understand, especially if you're a big fan of Robert, where he has all these classic films, and then even when he got older with some of them, it wasn't that bad until he started doing things like that with Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah.
It's like, that's horrible.
I don't know.
Even Meet the Fockers wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can play both really well with comedy and drama.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want, I want smart comedies like Meet the Parents. Like, I think that one is great. I don't want to see Meet the Parents 16.
Well, yeah.
But I want something a little bit more lighthearted if he wants to do that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I just think, it's kind of like when I was growing up, everybody talked about how great Michael Jordan was. Mm-hmm. But what I knew of Michael Jordan was after he already had a baseball career, he came back to the Bulls the second time, and then when I started watching basketball, he was on the Wizards. And those weren't his best years.
No.
And so when people were telling me, oh, Michael Jordan's really great, I'm sitting there going like, oh, I think Dwayne Wade's better. And people are like, how dare you? And I'm like, that's all I know. I didn't go on YouTube looking at Michael Jordan. I didn't live through the 80s or 90s. Like, I didn't live through Michael Jordan, what people know of him. Mm-hmm. And now I look back and I watch YouTube highlights and I'm like, oh, this guy's really good.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about with Robert De Niro. Like, kids are going to watch these Dirty Grandpa and they're just like, oh, yeah, Robert De Niro. He's, whatever.
Like, why did he win Oscar?
Yeah. And then you go back and you watch, like, Cape Fear.
Raging Bull.
Godfather 2. I think he was in.
I have to say I haven't watched The Godfathers.
Okay, well, we're just gonna fly past that because we only have a certain number of time.
Oh, by the way, it's a slate board.
Slate board, that's right.
Or it could be called a clapboard. I don't know why they would call it a clapboard like that. That sounds horrible.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think Tom needs to relax. I think let's and I haven't heard anything about this one being the last one. So that makes me nervous. Like, is there gonna be more? Like...
Well, I mean, if he does, in between those, when they take a break, he can do, supposedly, all the mummies now, since they're doing that.
Enough. Like, they went from, like... I don't know. Like, movies nowadays and remakes and reboots, they get younger actors to do it. And this one, they're just like, oh, we're going all in with Tom Cruise. And I'm not saying Tom Cruise lost anything. I think he's still a good actor. But, I don't know. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what else to say about this.
Nope.
I'm so done with... I'm done with this conversation. But you know what I'm not done with?
What?
I was going to try to promote something.
What were you going to try to promote? Thank you.
I'm dying.
I'm dying.
I don't know. I was thinking of, like, trying to be like, oh, you know, I'm not done with Planners Nuts. And it's like...
What?
Shout out to Planners if you want to promote this podcast.
Or Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, Dunkin'.
Can you promote us, please?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But anyways.
You never know.
But you know what I'm going to promote? 4 Batman movies in 1 year. That's right. I read an article. 4 Batman movies are slated to come out in 2019. That's right. 4 movies in 1 year. For the 80th anniversary of Batman. So, if you want to overload on Batman movies, 2019 is the time to do it. That's right. I read the list of titles. The list of titles for all the movies coming out. And these are the movies that are coming out in order of 2019. So the earliest to the latest in 2019. So you got Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, Batgirl, and The Batman. So...
Wait, what's it called again? The last one?
The Batman.
Has to be the?
Yeah, it's not... Don't get confused with just any Batman. Any Batman that you might be around. It's not a Batman.
Is the.
Yeah. It's not that Batman.
Yeah.
It's the Batman.
So nobody gets confused.
Yeah, the. I think the should be, like, in all caps on this thing. Yes. The. It's the Batman. And I don't even know why I keep saying the.
The.
So we got Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, Batgirl, and The Batman. Initial thoughts on hearing 4 Batman movies for 1 year. What do you think?
I mean, when I first heard it, it seemed like a little too much to just be like back to back to back like that. I'm like, can't you just span it out? Because I mean, what if they're not that great? Because DC is not.
They're falling upwards. They're failing. Yeah, they're falling upwards.
So, yeah, I just... But then, as I read more into it, then who supposedly, like, maybe could be casted and who's directing, I'm kind of more excited about it, because I feel there's potential there.
Yeah. My initial thought was, how?
What do you mean, how?
Because right now, they're having a tough time just doing a single Batman movie with Ben Affleck, and yet... They're going to have 4 done by 2019.
It can happen. They don't have...
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that my initial thought was how. And then before reading all the movie titles, I was like, why are we having 4 movies about Batman? But come to find out, it's just... Related.
Yeah.
Which, there's going to be a 2 movies on girl power.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm excited for Nightwing. I grew up with Robin. I loved Robin until I found out he was Nightwing, and I was like, Nightwing sounds so cool.
But who would play Nightwing, though?
We're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about the first movie.
Okay, fine.
Gotham City Sirens. Gotham City Sirens is going to be about the trio of villainous in Gotham City, which the trio is going to be Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Selena Kyle, who is also Catwoman. I'm excited to see what that could be about.
I'm really excited.
I'm very excited about... I just don't want them going too big too early. Like how Suicide Squad did, where this magical being is taking over the world and can do everything, yet all these people that don't have any like powers or ever is beating them all. And then beats them with a bomb. It's like, it's too unbelievable in this scenario. And I just want whatever this is to be a little bit more grounded.
Well, hopefully, I mean, they touch back on, like, backstories and things like that.
I'm sure they will.
I mean, with the animated series, from what I remember, with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn teaming up, and then Harley Quinn having to deal with the fact that she realizes that the Joker, or Mr. J, is actually abusive. So Poison Ivy was trying to get her away from the situation. And I remember that whole coming to terms with that and her actually having a backbone for once for Harley Quinn. And I really like that storyline.
Do you think, you brought up a good point, do you think we're going to see a Joker in this, or do you think it's going to be like post-split kind of thing?
I mean, it would be great to have a post-split, so you don't really focus on Joker per se. More, again, girl power. But, I mean, it would be hard again to cast someone as Joker, or would Jared Leto be Joker again? But you said something about earlier that they may not have Margot Robbie as this Harley Quinn? Yeah,
the article I read stated that the studio might go for their own version of Harley Quinn. So not necessarily... They didn't deny that Margot Robbie could do it, or would play Harley Quinn, but they didn't want to, like, the article didn't want to say, oh, yeah, the studio definitely got her or definitely couldn't get her. Like, it was like, oh, they're going for their own translation of Harley Quinn. So that could be the interpretation of, oh, we might be looking for somebody that won't be, like, too much money, basically.
Well, if you're going to do that, I mean, they're going to also have their standalone for Harley Quinn, so I just feel as though that would be so confusing to watch. You see these different versions of Harley Quinn out now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was me with The Flash. I never watched The Flash TV show, but it was like, oh, that's The Flash, making Flash movie. This should be it. Like, easy connect the dots. And it's like, no, we're going to... It's a whole different guy. Don't worry about it. It's like, all right. Why not? Sure. There's a lot of talk. There was another article about Gotham City Sirens. There's a lot of talk about who could be playing Poison Ivy. And there was a tweet that was directed towards Bryce Dallas Howard. And they were like, hey, some guy was just like, hey, at Bryce Dallas Howard or whoever her name is on Twitter, you plan on being Poison Ivy for the Gotham City Sirens? I don't know what accent that was, but I just made it up. And she tweeted back saying, oh, yeah, Poison Ivy is such a badass. And then it had she had a gif of like Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy, like walking down some stairs. And the article talked about her. And then they also mentioned Jessica Chastain. I can't speak right now. Jessica Chastain. When she was asked about Poison Ivy, she said as long as she's portrayed as a strong woman and strong character, that she would be willing to consider playing it. And then there was also talks about names thrown out were Megan Fox, which we can just stop there. And do you know how to say this next girl's name? Or Stephanie Corneliuson.
Yeah, I'll let you butcher her name. I don't like butchering people's names.
Corneliuson? I don't know. Stephanie Corneliuson, who's from Mr. Robot.
AKA Joanna Willick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry about that, Joanna, if you're listening. Also, if you have any pull with Pixar, just let us know.
Okay, my thing is that it would be ideal. I mean, I would love to see Jessica Chastain as Poison Ivy. And then I always wanted Rachel McAdams, because of her smile, to play Harley Quinn. Or she can even pull off Poison Ivy too. And then Stephanie, from Mr. Robot, I can see her playing a Selena Kyle. I think that would be a badass, group.
Yeah, seeing the picture of Stephanie C. I'm not gonna butcher your name again. I could definitely see her playing Selena Kyle / Catwoman.
Oh, if you saw her character on Mr. Robot, she's a shoo-in.
I don't think they're gonna tap on Anne Hathaway's door.
Not never again. Please no.
And Michelle Pfeiffer is definitely not gonna be it.
No, but she was an amazing Catwoman.
I didn't like her suit.
I loved her. What do you mean you didn't like her suit?
I didn't like her suit. It was all scraped up and she was a little crazy.
I mean,
she played really well as the crazy person. I just didn't like the whole mix with the penguin. I don't know. Batman Returns is not my favorite. I consider it the worst Batman.
Blasphemy.
I banned it from my DVD collection.
So this is my last podcast with Andrew. I wanted to say it's been great thus far.
That's a lie. But anyways.
Wait, something like tweet.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm excited for the Wonder Woman movie.
Yes, I am.
I'm excited to hear about this Gotham City Sirens. Let's just make some strong characters and let's put them out there. I want character-driven stories that are a little bit more grounded. Let them just rob some places and manipulate some people with Poison Ivy's love scent or whatever. Use Selena Kyle to steal diamonds or whatever with her hacking abilities or whatever she does.
Her hacking.
And let just Harley Quinn just be crazy. That's all I really want to see. I don't want to see these outer space people coming coming in, or the Putty Patrol, or whatever you want to call them. I don't want this crazy outlandish thing, and now they have to save the city. It's like, I don't want to see that. I want to see villains being villains. DC is thriving on how great their villains are. It's like, just let them be. I don't know.
So you just want something plausible for characters that don't have superhuman powers, like Superman. Like, it makes sense if he's fighting an alien.
Yeah. Super, if he's flying around, hitting people into buildings, yeah. I'm all for
totally
it.
Sense, but
totally for it.
Yeah.
But no, not for Harley Quinn to be hitting people with a bat.
No. That,
like, if she was fighting Zod and she hit him with the bat, and Zod went flying 50 feet, it's like, no, that's not, no. Stop.
Well, it kind of makes me, not to dwell on this subject, but it kind of makes me wonder how they're going to portray Harley Quinn. Are they going to continue with how they have it now, or will she go back to her Harley Quinn suit?
I don't know. I kind of liked... I think... So this is what I think. I think the Harley Quinn suit can make an appearance. I just don't think it's timely now. But I also don't like what Margot Robbie wore. I thought it was a little too
Mario?
Revealing. No, Margot Robbie.
I thought you said Mario.
No, I said Margot. But I don't like what she wore, because I think it was a little too... Like, it was just, like, we get it. She's the lone female, basically. She's gonna be the sex appeal. Like, no, don't do that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, have you played the video games? Because it's worse.
Here's a little tiny board shorts, cut off jeans, and here's a kid size shirt. And there you go. You're good. And it's like, could you wear a vest or a leather jacket or something? And I don't know. Put more clothes on, Margot Robbie. I don't know how many times people have told you this, but let me be the first if you're listening. Just put more clothes on. I mean, come on. This is a costume kind of thing. These are superheroes. They shouldn't be wearing jeans and walking around. I don't know. I'm looking at you, Killer Croc.
Don't bring him up.
Y'all, these are my sewers.
That poor character. They tore him up so badly.
He had the biggest character arc in the movie from the beginning to the end. Nightwing, just to touch on all these, Nightwing, I'm super excited about. Don't know who could play him, but I was super upset that the Dark Knight series, just that trilogy, just stopped after you get, like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt seeing the Batcave, and then he's gonna be, and it was like Project Nightwing or something. He hit a button or something, and it said Project Nightwing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then no more movies, and you're like, why can't we have, like, you just showed me Nightwing. I want it. Like, why can't you just give me this? I don't know.
There's actually a website stating that 6 people who could play Nightwing.
Okay, well, is this like BuzzFeed or whatever? Because
comicbookmovie.com.
6 people that could play Nightwing. First one is
Taron Egerton.
Okay, I don't know really.
Kingsman?
What he's done. The Kingsman?
Yeah, no, just Kingsman.
Kingsman.
The Secret Service. You've never heard of him?
Oh, is he the guy that? With Michael Caine.
Eggsy, yeah.
Michael Caine.
That I could kind of see.
He did great in that.
Steven Yeun.
Alright. I mean, I'm getting a little burned out on with him and the whole Walking Dead thing.
You picked Andrew Garfield.
I wouldn't.
You can't cross streams like that.
I don't know. I mean...
John Boyega.
Yeah, he could do it. I'm cool with that. Let's get a little...
No. Adam Driver?
No. So this guy is just picking people that are, like, hot right now.
Oh, there's your boy.
Dave Patel.
Yeah.
I would love him as Nightwing.
There you go.
Hey, I just watched... Okay, just for preferences, I just saw Slumdog Millionaire for the first time ever last night. And I watched Lion. Lion is great. Slumdog Millionaire is great. And I love Dev Patel. Like, let's sign that dude. I would watch anything he did. But, I don't know. I don't know how much he would do. I've watched an interview about him, and he selects his roles very precisely. But I'm cool with him. I really like the guy from The Kingsman.
Taron Egerton?
Yeah, Egerton. He was fantastic in that movie. I didn't think I was gonna like that movie.
I didn't really like the movie. It felt kind of choppy, in my opinion. But
the beginning is.
Yeah.
The beginning is definitely choppy.
But I think he's an amazing actor. So.
Yeah. I thought he was really good. That church scene was insane.
That was so good.
That was insane. But yeah, from that one, I would say Dev Patel, just because I know he can act, and he would just do that movie justice. The Egerton guy, and then the guy from The Walking Dead.
Steve Yeun.
I like that guy. He's good. I am getting a little burned out because his character did die. In the first episode of this past season, and then everybody just kept talking about it, and I'm just like, all right, cool. All right, we're good.
It's yeah.
Hey, I love Glenn. I love Glenn. He was one of my favorite characters when I was watching the series, and then I was just like, all right, I'm kind of a little burned out on him. I hope he gets more roles because I like him, but I just don't. I don't know.
Well, if we ever have like a Walking Dead marathon podcast, I'll go into my feelings about that.
Yeah. Yeah, keep dreaming, because I'm not doing that.
Wow!
You know how many seasons there are that I haven't seen?
Well, then catch up.
Oh, yeah, like, I'm gonna do that with I'm falling asleep during the day with how much stuff I'm trying to do. So Batgirl. The first glimpse we see of Batgirl in the movies, or my movies that I've seen, from, like, starting with the Michael Keaton first Batman, is Batman and Robin, I think? Is it Batman and Robin? It's the one with George Clooney.
Yeah, I think it's Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Because we have Batman Forever, that's where first Robin comes in.
Yes.
And then, so now it was Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Which, with Mr. Freeze. And Poison Ivy.
You just want to do that voice.
Mr. Freeze.
Oh my god.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. It's like, why? How's that a tagline in the beginning?
Such a bad movie.
I just love all those taglines.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna kick some ice.
Like, who thought it was okay for him to act in this? Oh.
Also, I love when they're not robbing stores. Him and his henchmen are all sitting in a giant freezer, watching and singing "I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow" from that one Christmas movie. Like, I'm just growing up, I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Why are they doing this? Shouldn't they be planning? Like, is this what henchmen do?
No plan, they just do.
But yeah, I mean, Alicia Silverstone was the Batgirl in that movie. Now she's playing a mom in The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which, all for her doing that. But who's to play Batgirl now?
That's the thing. I didn't really follow Batgirl that much. I guess I was for the villains as far as the women go. I don't know why. Yes. But, oh my god, the stupid ad. But, I don't know. Thank you. You just turned the sound button off of my computer to make everything okay. That one I don't know, but I do know whoever is casted. I know Joss Whedon, since supposedly he is going to be writing, directing, and producing, supposedly, the film. I just know it's going to be a strong female character.
Oh, yeah.
With him. But, I mean,
definitely.
I don't know how people will react with him crossing from Marvel to now DC.
You know what? Warner Brothers needs it. Like, Marvel doesn't need him as much. I feel like people should be okay with it. If we're gonna get a good movie with a strong character, I'm all for crossing these boundaries.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think with Batgirl, you get a blank canvas with this one. I know there's gonna be people that have read comics of Batgirl for years they are super into the character and the backstory and everything, but to the general audience, I think you could definitely just have a blank slate with this character. I don't know too much about her. Do you think we'll see a glimpse of her in the Gotham City Sirens? Like,
I hope so. I hope that
seeing a little bit of a cat fight with Selena Kyle.
Oh my god. That one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would hope that they have like a little glimpse of it going into it. You know how they like to tie things at the end of movies like that. So
I feel like they should.
Well, I did find
they need to take a page out of the Marvel book and just like weave a little bit, not too much. You don't want to make it too much about the other characters, other side characters, but I think you should weave, especially since that one's gonna be tough to fight the Gotham City Sirens. You have to be tactical, because I don't know if Ben Affleck punching Harley Quinn in the face is really like.
Oh God.
I don't think that's like, oh yeah, well, pay all the money. We're not going to get any reverb from this. It's like, oh.
Well, that was funny because with Batman Returns, when he actually punches Catwoman, and then she's like, "How could you hit a woman?" He's like, "I'm so sorry," and then he like stabs him.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, yes.
I was like, Michael Keaton.
They actually have, again, I found a list. The list is horrible to me. But some of the people, like Anna Kendrick, I'm so tired of her. I don't
No,
know.
thank you.
Isn't she going to play Squirrel Girl or whatever?
Yeah, whatever. She's going to just start singing in the middle of it. Like Batgirl just does the cup song. She's like, I'm going to fight crime after I do the, I got a ticket for the long term.
No.
2 bottle whiskeys on the and I'm Anna Kendrick and I'm so cute and squirrely. People just love to hate me. It's like, alright, cool.
Andrew likes to sing, FYI. But some of the girls that they did put on their list that I think would be amazing is Nathalie Emmanuel, which is from Game of Thrones.
Oh, she's cool.
I think she, if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, it's Masandi.
Basically, what's her name?
She's basically the left hand. Khaleesi.
Yeah, Khaleesi's like right hand woman.
Tatiana Maslany. I know her from Orphan Black and from other stuff, but I think she might be too strong of a female to be Batgirl. I don't know. I just can't see her. I don't know, but I think she's an amazing actress. No, definitely not. No, definitely not. They said Emma Stone.
No.
I can see you're playing Poison Ivy.
Yeah, no.
Maybe.
No. Because if they get her to be Batgirl, I'm just freaking out about Andrew Garfield playing Nightwing. And then it's like, please, gosh.
They're not going to get him to do that. No.
I just don't want any. I think Emma Stone could. Let's give somebody else a chance. Like the girl from Game of Thrones. Let's give somebody else a chance that could really put the. We get it. Emma Stone can do great stuff. I love La La Land, love Easy A, and all this other stuff. But do the movies that she wants to do. Let's rope in. I know studios are like, oh my gosh, that's a name though. And it's like, yeah, this movie could, with the right like inch of a trailer, you could easily sell 60 million already in the first weekend.
Well, Spider-Man, they introducing that new kid. I mean, I know he's done other stuff here and there, but nobody really knows him.
Well, because Tony's going to be in the movie a lot.
I get it. Well, you can put somebody in that with Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
That can, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Pull people in.
I agree. Do you have anything else before we
Nope.
move on to the fourth and final film that is supposed to be coming out late 2019, which is The Batman. Not to be confused again with A Batman or any other of the other Batmen, but you get The Batman. First of all, I hate the title. If you couldn't tell, I hate the title.
That is Batman.
It just reminds me of The Social Network, where Justin Timberlake leaves the table and he's like, "Hey guys, the Facebook, just call it Facebook," and then they walk out, and then he's like, "Yeah, he was right. Well, guess what? Somebody should have been like, let's take away the, and let's just be Batman. Done.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
And I feel like people are not going to be even saying, oh, the Batman. I'm going to go see the Batman. Well, maybe that way. But I think people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to go see Batman.
Everybody just says Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his title. That's who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody says the Superman or whoever else.
I feel like the whole title was the Batman movie, and then they just crossed out movie, and now it's just the Batman.
Exactly.
I don't know.
The Batman.
When people go to Home Depot, it's first of all, it's the Home Depot. The is very small now on the sign, and people never say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the Home Depot." Like, was there a terrible situation back in the past where they were like, "I'm gonna go to Home Depot," and they're like, "Oh, which one?" And it's like, oh, the one with the orange on it. It's like, oh, we gotta correct this. Let's get a patent on the Home Depot. And like, I don't know.
Well, just like when you categorize things, you don't put the in front of it. It's always the title, comma, the.
Yeah.
So.
If you put this movie on an iPod, it's going straight to the T's. Like, you want it at B. Like.
You want it first.
Yeah. Let's go with Aardvark Batman. Now it's number one on everything.
Oh my god.
Just throw in Aardvark in parentheses and people would still call it, oh, I'm just going to go see Batman. Don't know what that could be about. Nobody had any clue. It's coming out late 2019. Still very rumored. I mean, I'm still waiting for this single Batman movie that Ben Affleck's supposed to be writing, directing, and starring in. And now he wanted to get out of even directing it.
Something bad's happening if he wants to get out of it.
And there's even, like, reverb that's saying he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Like, at some point, he was just like, I don't even know if I want to be committed to this. And he was pretty much, a lot of people were saying he was the best part of BVS. The B was the best part of the VS part. And everything else. I don't know. I just want that one. Let's just do that one, and then we'll talk about the 2019 one.
Yeah.
And how bad of a title it is. I don't know, Batman, you just have so many options. Make it cool. Like,
I mean,
the Dark Poet of Justice. Batman, the Dark Poet of Justice. And people would just be like, alright, I'm just gonna go see Batman. Like, they would still cut off the rest of it, but you could make it cool.
I mean, do they not want it to be misinterpreted as Batman back in the 90s? Like, Batman?
See, I thought of that a little bit too.
Michael Keaton, they don't want to cross with that. I mean, but still, it's just Batman, bottom line.
Yeah, because you go on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes and you just type in Batman, you get all the Batman movies. Hey, did you meet Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, instead of The Dark Knight? I mean, those really separate themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Batman Begins. You'll get Batman Begins, and then Christopher Nolan was like, well, let's just go Dark Knight. Like,
can we go this direction?
Things that I don't want to be lumped in with the Tim Burton and all those other ones. Like, have you seen Batman and Robin? But, and then now you're gonna get the Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, let's just do what everybody else does and put Batman, and then on all the movie websites they're just gonna put the date next to the thing. So it'd just be Batman, parentheses, 2019.
Yeah, that's all it's gonna be.
I mean, so they did with Fast and Furious, The Fast and the Furious, 2001, and then the fourth movie was just called Fast and Furious, and then they have to put a date because people never said The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just don't need that.
Again, gone. Fast and Furious, let's get to the point. I think we just came full circle.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Without even thinking about it, we came full circle, and at that point, we have to just stop.
Yeah, I was like, this is a good ending.
We actually just finished all the topics, and that was a perfect ending, and we're ruining it by talking about how perfect it was.
You just
and patting on ourselves in the back. So, but that was the third installment. You can catch us, hopefully on iTunes, once we switch back to an RSS feed. We're not going to get into this on thing. I was about to. But,
I mean, if you wait just 1 second, I can probably give you that.
But we are on iTunes. The first 2 episodes of this podcast is on iTunes and SoundCloud. This third one is going to be on iTunes hopefully soonish. We're going to be talking about maybe switching our RSS feed and hosting website. But you will be able to see it the same week that we do it on YouTube. So our YouTube is Tell Me Rune, and you can see the first 2 episodes and this episode very soon. I'll put it up there. So if it's not on iTunes and you don't see the episodes on iTunes, you can definitely catch us on YouTube. I just want to say that real quick. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week.